If you're a creator with a small YouTube channel like mine and you're experiencing some degree of burnout here on YouTube, this video is for you. So many of the comments in my last several videos and comments on Reddit and different YouTube forums on the internet are talking about this issue where small creators are feeling burned out, and they're feeling burned out for a number of reasons that, in my opinion, all go back to one thing, one piece of advice that you're getting from the large YouTube growth channels, the growth coaches, and the gurus. And that piece of advice is that you must stay disciplined. Look, in my opinion, discipline is killing more small channels, small creators than they're helping, than that idea is helping. And the reason why is because discipline, that idea that I have to stay disciplined, I have to upload consistently, I have to create consistently and post consistently, etc. That discipline that these coaches are trying to instill in you and telling you that is necessary if you want to be successful on YouTube, that's the reason why people are getting so burned out. For several reasons. Number one, anytime you implement discipline into something that you started doing because you enjoy it or because you wanted to do it, you put pressure on the situation. And as it pertains to YouTube, you're putting pressure on yourself to feel like you have to do something that you started doing because you wanted to do it. And look, I'm not against discipline. I've made videos about the power of discipline. When I was an athlete playing in the NFL, discipline was a huge part of my success. Discipline to do things that I didn't want to do. Discipline to go work out when I didn't feel like it. Discipline to go hard in practice when my body was sore or I didn't feel like it. Discipline is simply doing what you know needs to be done when you need to do it, regardless of how you feel. You can apply that same principle to YouTube, but from my experience, my own personal experience, and what I'm reading in the comments on my videos, and again on Reddit and other YouTube forums, is that mentality is causing so many small creators to burn out. So number one, because it puts pressure on you to do something that you started doing for fun because you enjoy it, and now you feel like you have to do it because you need to maintain this consistent upload schedule, you need to consistently feed the algorithm, etc. So it takes something that you were doing for fun, that you were doing out of joy, to feeling like a job and something that you have to do. And the second reason why I think that this idea of discipline is what's leading to so many small creators to burn out is because they're doing the work. They're staying disciplined. You're doing the work, you're consistently uploading, you're putting a lot of time and effort into creating really good quality content, and then nothing happens, right? You spend all this time on a video, you pour your heart and soul into it, you upload it, it gets a couple hundred impressions and 50 views. Nothing will burn you out faster than continuing to work hard at something and not seeing the result. And so in those cases, this is where I always coach people. Again, I'm not a YouTube coach. I'm not trying to be in that space, but these videos are resonating with people when I'm talking about this topic. So I'm happy to continue to do it. But what I would advise people to do is, at that moment, when you start to feel burned out, when you start to feel like your effort is not producing the result that you want, that's when you got to do two things. Number one, remember why you started. Remember why you're doing it. And again, for me, as I've said many, many times, I do this because I love it, because I love my camera gear and I want to use it. I love making videos. I love sharing perspectives, points of view, my unique insight on something. And because I love YouTube, I consume a lot of YouTube. And so I wanted to become as much of a creator as I was a consumer. So that's my advice, is to, number one, remember why you're doing it, why you started doing this in the first place, and get back to that place of creating out of joy and out of love. And the second piece of advice I would give you is that if you're starting to feel burned out because you're feeling the pressure from the discipline of having to consistently post and upload and create, even when you don't want to, even when you don't feel like it, take a break. Take a break. 2 weeks, a month, whatever. There's plenty of creators out there that will tell you that they were terrified of taking a break. They were terrified of missing a couple weeks of uploading because they thought they would lose some momentum, or that the algorithm would then punish them or shadow ban them or what have you. And a lot of their stories are that they, in some cases, took months away from YouTube. And when they came back and uploaded a video, it was as if they'd never left. The video performed well, and in some cases, ultimately it helped them grow even more, gave them more momentum than they had before they took the break. So those are my second pieces of advice there. If you're starting to feel burned out because you've listened to this advice and you've been trying to implement this discipline to consistently create, upload, post, and keep feeding the algorithm, remember why you're doing it in the first place. If you're not getting the results that you want, if you're not seeing the growth that you wanted, just remind yourself, hey, I'm just doing this because I love it. And if my channel does take off and I get monetized and I get brand deals and all this stuff, wonderful. If I don't, that's fine too. And then if you're starting to feel that way, go ahead and take that break, take that vacation from YouTube that you need. I think about my life in the NFL and in pro sports. That was built in. We would grind hard for 6 or 8 months, and then we had a defined, dedicated off season, a period of time where if we didn't want to do anything, if you wanted to sleep until 10, go to the movies, lounge around all day, you could do that. And in fact, that was encouraged because we needed that time to heal our bodies, let our minds reset and recharge and get ready for that grind again. A lot of YouTubers are treating this business like a 365-day-a-year business, and I understand. I'm not saying you're wrong in thinking that, but it's possible that might be the thing that's causing you some burnout. So I just want you to be aware of those things and not get yourself in a position where ultimately you are burned out because you're not creating out of joy and because you're feeling some type of stress around posting all the time and you're afraid to take a break. So that would be my advice around this idea. Don't let this pressure and this idea of discipline get you to a point where you're, number one, burned out, and then number two, ultimately because of that, you just quit. That's the worst thing you can do. If you're really here for the long haul, if you really want to be successful on YouTube, you can't quit. You have to stay with this. You have to, again, be in it for the long haul, but you're not going to be able to sustain that if you're only doing it because you want the result, because the chances are high that you're probably not going to get that result. And ultimately, the creators that have been successful will tell you it took months and in some cases years for them to ultimately get their channel to the point where they're monetized, they're making money, and they're having success. And I want that for you. I want that for everybody watching. Shit, I want that for myself. But when I start feeling that pressure and I start feeling a little bit burned out, I remind myself why I'm doing this, and then I'll take a break if I feel like that's necessary. And I want you guys to feel that too. I want you to feel maybe I'm trying to give you license, or I'm trying to give you permission to take a break if you're feeling burned out. Look, this is YouTube, man. It's not that serious. Nobody's gonna die. Nobody's life is at stake. If your channel isn't as successful as you want it to be, in most cases, nobody's gonna be harmed. Your life's not gonna be turned upside down. Do this again because you love it. Do it because you want to share something of knowledge or some insight or something that you're passionate about. You want to share that with the world, and do it at your pace. Don't let any of these coaches and these creators tell you, or these YouTube growth channels tell you that you must be disciplined. You must treat this like a full-time job and upload consistently and create even if you don't feel like it, because that pressure to stay disciplined is the number one thing that's causing a lot of small channels to burn out, and ultimately, in the worst case, it's causing them to quit. And I don't want that for you. So hope you found value in this video. If you did, please give it a like, consider subscribing to the channel. I love making these videos for you guys, and I hope they resonate. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.